Jacob, you're muted.
And I clicked unmute. This is a difficult task, as you might see, always.
That's why you're not playing a lot of Star Heroes, because you are not good at clicking.
That's why I'm playing Doggin Hood a lot. I'm very good at tapping, though.
I heard in Doggin Hood clicking is even more important, so I'm not sure about your success in this game. However, welcome everybody.
Welcome everybody once again. This is another episode of the GameSwift Townhall. Today we have a special guest from Abis Protocol, but before we introduce him to you, we will have a little flirty chat with Pan, as always.
The last week we started with the music How Deep is the Deep. Today probably we should start with Such a Lonely Day, because it's like a really sad environment, and I don't want to hide my head into the sand. I rather would like to comment on everything around the town. But before I going to do this, small announcement, guys. GameSwift chain Testnet is freaking live. We really appreciate your support. Looks like a lot of ambassadors, a lot of KOLs, a lot of committee members have been liking this, retweeting. It's one of the few tweets that has more retweets rather than likes, a lot of views, which proves that this is like organic movement. So the testnet is ready. We are ready to battle test our technology, our modular gaming chain, with our ambition to make it superior gaming and AI chain within Optimism ecosystem. You've got all important links to the testnet, to the documentation, bridge, faucet, and blockchain explorer. Please cover and provide your feedback. We are more than happy to find out whether maybe we have some bugs, maybe something is not perfect. Anyway, I believe that this chain works really smoothly, and I can't wait to move on for the mainnet. Our CMO Derek is for 2 weeks holiday right now, so this kind of the alpha that maybe once he's back, we will be ready for for the mainnet. The full tweet about GameSwift chain testnet, you can find it obviously here. It's a warm-up before the storm, before the major news, which is GameSwift chain going mainnet. In the meantime, I would like shortly to comment on the recent price action. Obviously, guys, it looks really bad. The market environment also looks pretty bad. When I take a look at a lot of charts, they don't look bullish either. When I look at our competitors or someone outside our competition, it's so I think it's a good opportunity to comment on the overall market sentiment, what's wrong with crypto right now, and I think this will give us a very good understanding of what the heck is happening, right? I'm going to quickly start with the GameSwift itself. So overall, I think GameSwift had a very good start back in July. At the very end of the bear market, and that was exactly the plan. Like, we wanted to get it started when there is kind of boring in the market, but just before the big movement, the big inflow of capital connected with upcoming bull market, and the timing was very good. Like, obviously there was some hype around the listing, then we've been down, and I remember perfectly what I felt at those 4 cents. A lot of people were depressed. They felt like maybe it's over because maybe it's a pump and dump, right? And at that very moment, I think that was kind of the disbelief which I feel right now. But then it turned out that Web3 gaming is back, that modular blockchain, thanks to Celestia, is working, and the capital was flowing into the crypto market in anticipation of Bitcoin ETF. And from this dip, we made like astonishing movement, 1,500% one of the best performance in the Q4 last year was GameSwift, right? And that's let's say kind of surprise, like in a kind of overperformance, because let's be honest, guys, with each other, we are not the ecosystem which raised $100 million. We are not like well funded. GameSwift raised nearly $4 million, and GameSwift in Q4 in December reached $1 billion FDV. It's a true overperformance, guys. Like I don't know many projects which reached this kind of valuation of more than $1 billion while raising only $4 million, right? Usually these are like the big VC plays, like I don't know, Wormhole, Layer Zero, right, with a lot of tier and VC on board, with the funding of between 50 to 300 million to hundreds millions dollars, right? GameSwift was a different story. GameSwift is a story of a very community-driven hype. And actually, it was not only at one point, right? Because this was back in December, but then we repeated this in March this year. So even this year, GameSwift reached $1 billion valuation again. And it was like, not just at the date of the listing, like from July, it's nearly 8 months, right? So that's kind of the overperformance, guys. I think we made a history with this performance. There is no doubt about it. But then back from March, something wrong started to happen. And it is obviously the outflow of the overall capital. When we take a look at the most of the charts, it looks like they tapped also around March this year. Here is, for example, Matic, right? Matic also had a very nice performance from October back to March, and from that point, a very negative price performance. And it's not only about Matic; it's about most of the crypto market, right? IMX also back in March. That was their local high, right? Arbitrum made all-time high in January, but in March also very nice performance, and from there a big dump, right? So there's obviously, when we go to the total crypto market cap, we can see that there was kind of the outflow of the capital from the crypto market. Basically 20% of the capital vanished, but it's not that, like, let's say that it was not caused by Bitcoin itself. When we feel, because usually when there is a dump, people natural guess is that probably Bitcoin has dumped, right? But when you think about it, it was not necessarily the case, because here is, of course, like Bitcoin made its local top in March. It was somewhere around 70,000, but then in April, in May, and even in June, Bitcoin was also around 70,000, while the whole crypto market has been, especially altcoins, have been dumping a lot, right? So so this brings me to the special conclusion. Why? So maybe it's not only about the overall outflow of the capital, since Bitcoin is pumping, and maybe it is something else. And I think when I go over the Twitter space, the most convenient argumentation is from Miles Deutscher, and I totally agree with his analysis. So Miles has recognized that basically in 2021, the market was pretty frenzy. A lot of those VC-funded projects made their successful listings. Then back in 2022, there was a bear market, right? And during this 2022, a lot of funding has been made. Only in Web3 gaming, it was $10 billion, right? And the tricky thing is that most of those projects didn't make their listing in 2022. They didn't make it in 2023 neither, right? They've been waiting for the bull market, right? They delayed, right? So in my opinion, what happened with the overall crypto market is that since Bitcoin ETF has been accepted, a lot of people started to consider listing around Bitcoin halving, somewhere around March and April. I remember when I spoke with a lot of projects of my friends, of the projects incubated, a lot of them planned their listing around March and April once they've been raising in 2022, in 2023. So I think that what happened here is that suddenly, somewhere around March, even though that Bitcoin was not that dumping that much, Bitcoin was back to 70,000 back in June. But from that time, from February, from March, there was a massive inflation of new listings, of new protocols going live with Ethereum and VC on board. A lot of KOLs have been shilling those projects. The average key opinion leader, the average influencer have been promoting around more than 100 to different tokens in the 2 months period, right? That's really a lot. And suddenly people came to the conclusion that, hey, maybe we don't want to play this game anymore, right? Maybe since those projects there was not enough liquidity on the capital to aggregate this selling pressure from the listings. Those listings, frankly saying, have been not that not performing that well, right? A lot of them had a really bad price action. This, for example, like listing of Entangle. Actually, I think something wrong is happening today, but basically a lot of big projects listed at that time. Or take a look even on at the wormhole, right? This is one of the most anticipated listings, right? So since people recognize that those listings are not that cool anymore, they started to think maybe it's not worth playing this VC game. Maybe it's better to, yes, obviously, maybe it's better to play with the meme coins, right? And that's why, as you can see, there is, in my opinion, it's not a coincidence. Here is the local top of this. This is the March, right? So this is the time where a lot of altcoins went down. But then this blood for the altcoins continued back until today, while meme coins started to pump, right? And in my opinion, that's mostly due to the fact that people couldn't resist this VC invested projects with a lot of inflation. They prefer to invest in almost fully diluted projects, in the projects who are not having a lot of to dump on the market, right? So obviously, since GameSwift crossed like summer, March and April, there was more and more questions about seed unlock, right? And the team unlock, which is starting in July. The thing is that it's not that in July there is some massive unlock, right? This seed sale is distributed over 16 months period, right? So this is a really long time. But still, crypto is all about the narrative, right? A lot of people start thinking that maybe July is a bad day, right? And that's why gains have been dumping a lot. And I think now we are approaching the point where it's not so tempting for the senior investors to dump GameSwift anymore, because it's back to the price in summer here in November. And I'm not fully convinced whether like scene investors, first of all, they are not going to receive a lot of tokens at the day at the end of July. This will just start the vesting, which is well distributed over 18 months period. Secondly, the ROI is not that big like before, right? So I'm frankly saying waiting for this July. The time is playing, in my opinion, for our favor, right? Because the more time has passed, the more tokens are into the circulation, and like more and more tokens being released, like decreases the market cap to FD ratio. I also think whether maybe it's a good idea to let me check something, that maybe it's a good idea to introduce into the market cap all the tokens from the treasury, because right now they are like sitting on the wallet, they are not into the circulation. So maybe it's better to release them. I don't mean to dump, but to treat them as the part of the market cap, right? So right now they're like in the FDV, so people think that maybe they will be dumped. Once releasing them into the market cap, into the circulation, the FDV to market cap ratio will be much better. So to highlight, I'm not telling that to dump treasury. I'm just telling that instead of keeping this on FDV, I would rather keep it as in circulating, because in real, like it's only a technical difference. Why this might affect a lot of investment decisions, because when people go to the coin market cap, when they check GSWIFT, they obviously see some kind of the difference between in market cap, between market cap and between FDV, right? So even let me show it here, right? They see $7 million market cap. Actually, it's a little bit higher because market cap is not showing the right circulating supply. We are constantly asking them to fix, but since treasury is not marked in the market cap, people think that still a lot of tokens are to be released, while it's quite the opposite. Like obviously the seed is about to be released, the team tokens are about to release, but a lot of tokens from private has been already released. Public is fully circulating, and the airdrop is fully circulating. So I think we should work and to address this analysis that I made. I would rather I would like to work on those metrics to make it more investors friendly. So obviously, since there is a very negative sentiment, it's not worth to play the best cards. I just want to give you the update that we are still here, that we are still working, developing our product. We are taking care of the new partnerships. We're also onboarding new projects into our treasury, because frankly saying, like I showed you, $1 billion FDV in 8 months after the listing is overperformance for the protocol like GameSwift. And when you think about it, we did the same overperformance in starter, right? So this is not a coincidence, and this brings a lot of protocols, a lot of projects to ask for our advisory, to ask for our incubation, and projects happy to share some portion of their total supply for the airdrop. And one of those protocols that we made partnership to be announced today is Abis protocol, which is the AI software ecosystem. In my opinion, releasing very, very decent piece of technology. There are also some tweets from our committee members about that, because the bullish news is that Abis protocol decided to distribute $12.5 million of Abis tokens into GameSwift treasury. It's nearly 2.5% of their total supply, so that's a very generous airdrop. So buy, stake, forget, even though you are under the water, it's still in play, and we are still aggregating and introducing new protocols into this treasury. So this is also very important information for the seed investors. Right now, they've been missing out the airdrops, right? So since they start claiming their tokens, I feel that it could be mistake to dump those tokens instead of staking them, because we also had kind of the delay for those protocols. We distributed Star Heroes airdrop, but a lot of airdrops have been halted, have been stopped due to the negative market conditions. And since there is a delay, I expect that once the bull market will be back in Q4 this year, those airdrops will come and will be listed, and GSWIFT stakers shall be highly incentivized to stake their tokens. But I can tell you a lot about Abis protocol, but the thing is that we have the special guest from Abis protocol, and this is Sasha Vademon, Demon. Welcome, nice to have you on the show.
Nice to meet you, guys, and thanks for the invite.
And this is a great opportunity for me to pass my voice to Jacob, because I need to drink some water. I've been speaking for 20 minutes in a row. So Jacob, I know that you prepared a lot of questions for Sasha, so the microphone is yours.
I clicked it right. Yeah, unmuted. Hello, Sasha. Nice to meet you. I've been actually researching Abis protocol today. There's also an Abis game on the GameSwift chain, but I don't know if you guys are related. I don't.
Not at all. Those are different projects.
Yeah, different projects, but it sounds super interesting what you're doing. You're using AI and creating like an operating system. Sounds tricky, sounds complicated, but I'm sure that you can explain it in simple words. What are you doing, guys?
So Abis protocol is an operating system, as you said, to make AI technologies more transparent, trustworthy, and also accessible. So basically, it ensures that the AI system are clear and secure. So it uses it as a private way for the user and for the end clients. And it aims to really decentralize AI development, allowing like anyone to use this protocol and to build using our own technology. So you can see it as an AI. You can build your own AI agents, and you can solve many issues like centralization, lack of transparency, limited access to advanced AI resources. But also, it's about making AI more fair and open to everyone. So right now, when you give your data to centralized platform, they can use it for other purpose. This is really what we don't want. We want the users to be able to give their data to their own agent, and only the agent can use this data to provide services to their own communities and users.
I get it. So maybe let's give an example to our community on how it could work. Let's imagine that I want to create a project. Maybe you get a showcase like that for us.
Yes, I can give you a simple showcase with like real sensitive data. It's for instance, like health tech. You want to give the AI to the AI model like the data, the private data of the users, and they want to upload their data, but they really want this data to be totally anonymous. They don't want to be shared everywhere. And in this case, we can provide the proof and provide to the user the guarantee that the AI model will not have access to the actual data, but it will transit through a system to be totally private. And on the other hand, we can also, on the other side, prove that it's this specific model that has been used to give the output, to give the response. And so basically, for AI company, for company owning a lot of data that can be super useful for treating patients, for saying which illness they will have, and so on, we can say, okay, this is the company that owns this data, that provided this output, and we can guarantee also that it's the truth through the other side, meaning that we have guardians to guarantee that the AI model worked well and didn't, imagine something from nowhere based on just his own imagination and fabulation.
And for this, you're using blockchain. So this is like the real life utility of blockchain technology. Yeah. So basically, you can sell this service to like traditional Web2 companies in order to secure the data and make sure that. But I hope that the data is not published on blockchain.
No, of course. We use the blockchain to really put a kind of layer in between and as a framework. So basically, it's the computation power that is really used from the blockchain to decentralize totally like the AI computing power. It's also to really have a layer 2 to make the exchanges. To, for instance, if you have data at one point, you can trade your data against tokens, and the models, the agents will give you tokens for the data you provide, even if this data will be anonymized. So it's a new way also to make worth the data and to valorize some assets in the companies. There is also ways to use our SDK directly in your platform that will give you the opportunity to use our system directly on your applications and so on, even in your game. And again, guaranteeing to you and to your users a full privacy about the data. So yes, it's a lot about trust, guaranteeing trust, having a protocol that is totally decentralized, really on the roots of the blockchain, but accessible for everyone, from the blockchain technology companies to the gaming companies to the more like corporate world and people that really needs to own their data too.
Yeah, so you mentioned gaming, and there's a reason why you have decided to integrate with GameSwift. So what utilities do you see for your service in gaming specifically? Showcase once again, please.
Yes. So the thing for gaming, I see several key use cases. The first one is really like enhancing the gameplay thanks to the technology, the AI technology. So we can adapt, personalize the whole experience about the story. What are the feeling that the person loves or hate, and play with that kind of things during the gameplay, during the storytelling, during the narrative of the gaming itself, during the lore. When we build up the lore for the player. There is the environment, basically. So the environment can change, it can adapt thanks to the evolution of the game and the own aptitude of the gamer. We can make it more difficult, less difficult, adaptive in certain ways. The NPCs also can really evolve and be adapted to the gameplay that you had before, or during the parties you had before. You can also exchange with other people, and according to what they know from you, they will adapt a bit the discussion. They will talk about your own personal story, your own avatar. They will really discuss with you in a more deeper way, I would say. And then we on blockchain and blockchain gaming, there is a lot of hacks. There is a lot of people that are trying to find some ways to earn some tokens in tricky ways. AI can also really help in the security aspect and make it more difficult for these people to try to impersonate or take the several accounts and stuff like that. We can try to really reduce also the number of hacks, penetration, and people that try to steal some money from gameplay and loophole in the gameplay.
Yeah, but you would mostly do it based on the data analysis, right?
This is mainly on the data analysis, and the idea is to make people making their own agents thanks to this technology. And so a lot of projects will flourish thanks to the technology that we provide to them, because they trust it more than OpenAI or other big GAFAM company that owns already a lot of data and try to push their own model everywhere. So this is, for us, it's super important. And one of the key things is also the proof of intelligence, making sure that it's your model that has been used, and so you are rewarded. You receive Abis tokens, and on the other side, you can say, okay, this output has been given thanks to my agent. And at one point, we imagine agents working together, and exchanging between each other. And thanks to the token, because they will have their own kind of vault, they can exchange the token directly and use the data from the other if there is an agreement between the two companies or the two agents beforehand.
Yeah, and you mentioned one of the possible utilities of the Abis token. So could you maybe elaborate on that? So what are the utilities, man?
So it's a layer 2. I will maybe begin with the tokenomics, and then I will talk about how to earn some Abis, because I think that it could interest also the community. So it's all the transaction will be done with the Abis token. There will be some fees that will be taken into our network to feed the economy of the game and our own economy with the different agents. There will be opportunities to buy some nodes, so we will have to kind of stake to put some tokens, Abis tokens, to have access to the nodes. Like this, you can earn some money from the computing power that you will put at the disposal of the project and the ecosystem. And there is also the governance. It's a governance token, so people will have the opportunity to vote, to propose their involvement. There will be a launch pad, so a project will be selected by the community, by us, to push project forward on our technology. And one of the key elements to explain is like the farming season. So there will be 3 farming seasons. The first is really like quite simple, is the social farming. So we will do it with cookie tree. And so by posting, commenting, sharing the threads, you will be able to receive some stuff. So we'll say stage 1, in gaming. Then there is the on-stage farming. So there you will have to swap, go on the decks, find some ways to get some items into the games, pay them with the Abis token, and so on. And there you will begin to have like on-chain customers in a sense. So it's a proof. First, it's proof of, I would say, awareness, like people are interested into us. Then there is the proof of using. So they are like doing things with our token. And the last, but not the least at all, is the usage of our platform and our app. And so we will release an app to show our MVP. And the MVP will be about the proof of intelligence, because it's where really we innovated. And so like this, when you make the run with the AI agent, you will receive a token that can be on your wallet that you can transfer and so on, to say, okay, this output, I get it from this agent, and I can prove that it's at this time and this way. Right now, when you receive output from Gemini or ChatGPT, you cannot prove to anyone that you use one or the other model. In this case, you will prove that it will be from the Abis protocol model.
Nice, cool. Some useful utility for blockchain technology. And so you're a competition of ChatGPT basically right now, man.
We will be like the main competitor because of the community. It's the real aspect of it is there. And as Wojciech said earlier, a big part of the supply, like 2.5%, will be allocated to your community. So this is an important number. And they can be increased really through the interaction with us. So I think it's important to remind. And the release and the listing will be end of August, early September. So it's quite short time frame. We have really 3 months right now to leverage the whole community and the whole technology and make some noise around.
Yeah, one more thing that I found really interesting is that actually you will be also using the power of the GameSwift community's computing power resources, yeah? So this is actually a very nice add-on to our AI-oriented system, so to say.
Yes, I think that it's more and more demanded today, to have like really a decentralized way of working and approaching problems. And this is one of the key also, I would not issue, but like a challenge today is how to make like AI systems and computation power decentralized, to be sure that it's not a centralized entity that owns all the data and stuff like that. And so we found the technology to make it happen. We build this technology, and the idea is to find ecosystem partners that have the same vision, that are really believing in these decentralized systems, and that we can exchange good practices, share our technology, use yours, and so on. And so it's really what we are looking forward for our ecosystem partners.
Got it. So earlier on, we covered your contribution to the GameSwift DAO treasury, 2.5% of the total supply of your token. Thank you.
It's really to incentivize also like the growth and the common objectives of the both communities. I really believe that we have something to do in gaming. You are already in gaming, and you are focusing also with AI technologies and decentralization, and these are common values. So for us, it was like straightforward to go into this direction.
Yeah, man, it sounds so cool that Shimon is actually asking if it will be possible to invest in Abis protocol anyway.
Of course. You can reach me whenever you want. I can give you more information about what's going on this side. There are like several releases during the 2 next months, and so happy to discuss that with you guys.
Yeah, just remember to use your personal wallet. Just kidding, man. There's the third point that actually I wanted, and the last one to touch upon. It is it states that gaming products on Abis layer 2 will be integrating with the GameSwift chain for payment processing. And what do you mean by that?
So basically, I don't have all the answers on this, but the Abis token will be used for all the payments on our ecosystem. But there are two things that can be maybe linked when people are building with their own games and tokens with our ecosystem. A part of their revenues and token will be distributed to the Abis protocol vaults, and it will be distributed to the token holders of Abis protocol. So basically, there is a kind of a game tokenomics that integrates the others. So we are not competitive with the different games that have their own token and so on. We are more empowering them and make it more decentralized. So it's not us like taking the tokens at all. It's really about distribution of the tokens and using it to our own systems and mechanisms.
Cool.
I don't know if I answer about the payment in itself, but at least about the retribution and the usage of the token. If they are like an ecosystem partner, they will be integrated in a way.
Yeah, so I guess we will hear more from you about the payments with the time passing by. Man, so I think that maybe we could just, for those who just joined us, remind you that there will be 3 stages of token farming. The first one is already on, or it's starting soon.
It's starting super soon, starting next week or in the next 15 days, because next week is ETHCC. I will be at ETHCC if any of you are around. Happy to meet, guys. There is, yes, exactly. So the social farming until the end of the month, more or less, like the on-chain farming that will run away, and the mobile app and intelligence of proof of intelligence elements that will be for the end of the month and during the listing period.
Perfect. So guys, if you want to read more about Abis and our partnership, just go to the GameSwift Twitter account, and the last post has it all in there. And wait for some news regarding the stage 1 of token farming next week, as you said. And I don't know, man, anything you'd like to add in the end to wrap it up?
No, maybe the only thing, because your partner was explaining like the wall graphs and so on, and at the end the narrative is changing all the time, and there are always like ups and downs, as you probably know. And our hope, in a sense, is to make the conscious right now with this AI, revolution, to make like the people really aware that the blockchain is the tool to make people more empowered about using the usage of the AI. And this is really my message. It's like when we build this technology, it's in the mind that people should own like their own models, and they can really make it work for you. And it's a kind of dream of the AI believers and blockchain believers, and it's exactly when we cross the dots.
So you're trying to make the perfect match happen, actually. And it sounds very tempting, because we all believe in blockchain, we all believe in AI, but so far, it's been kind of difficult to merge these two.
Exactly.
This is one of the trickiest points in this environment right now, I think. So good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invitation. And I hope to see you soon.
Ouais, merci beaucoup. On se tient en courant, mec. Et maintenant, je reviens à Wojtek. Après. Salut.
Salut.
And I'm alone in here. Yeah.
You're not
back.
You're not alone. You're not alone, guys. Yeah. So first of all, like a short message to all the people from GSPay. So obviously, I read some concerns that there was a long time since the last airdrop, that a lot of people staked their GSWIFT in anticipation of the future airdrop, and my explanation is pretty clear in here. Since there is negative market sentiment, most of the tokens in our treasury delayed their listing. Since there are no listings, there is also delay in the airdrop procedure. Please bear it in mind that none of those projects provided the exact date for the listing, so they have full right to postpone them. And if I were them, I would probably do the same. So we need to be patient in here. There are a lot of projects developing, contributing to the treasury, being airdropped to GSWIFT stakers, but this is a matter of time. Most of the projects probably are going to be listed when the market sentiment will be back, and we'll see whether it's going to be August, September, November, October. Nobody knows. Market is going to adjust. So probably right now, this is kind of the disbelief. I think a lot of people are angry and are leaving the crypto market. Usually that's a good time to be more engaged into the research, into the activity around the crypto. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you mentioned some research, and actually, I guess that you've seen the article from Cointelegraph, the recent one about the possible relief rally coming. As we can see, the outflow of sellers of stables is decreasing in the crypto markets, and many analysts are saying that actually it's a sign of a possible relief, at least, or the comeback of bull market.
Let's hope, guys. Like I'm not gonna lie, my mood is like very proportional to the price action. Even though I'm much more experienced, I try to put aside the price action to the day-to-day business activity. Although when I wake up and see some blood into the market, I'm obviously pissed. I'm obviously mad. So thank you for the comments, like James Bond, like Martin Sezo. Thank you for your full support. When I scroll the Twitter, when I see those hate comments, I really feel sorry for this. However, we need to like, if there is anyone in this crypto space who proved that is able to be back, it's definitely us, right? We survived the Terra collapse, the FTX collapse, the whole bear market, then been back, airdrop everyone, whoever has been airdropped from our previous STT token, they are in profit if they sell their GSWIFT airdrop. We also made a very good airdrop for Star Heroes in the middle of March, which was like nearly 4 months ago. So we keep building, we are keep introducing new projects. I hope that more and more of them I will be able to introduce. Of course, some of them prefer to build in the stealth mode, and I'm not surprised because there is not a good market sentiment right now. But the new fall of the projects will definitely come. And speaking of the incubated projects, speaking of the airdrop projects, I think this one is printing like new numbers. And Star Heroes Tokenhood has crossed 300,000 players, which is very good metric. This is even more than Star Heroes has made, which is very impressive. So even though it's still meme coin, even still highly speculative, I think this one will be really fun to watch. And I see that there are like new characters coming, so obviously we are keeping our fingers crossed for the Doggin Hood. Let's keep grinding and let's hope that the bull market will be back, especially that not all of the meme coins are performing that well. For example, Borpa today had like a major announcement that they stopped their relationship with Entangle. Frankly saying, when I seen this tweet, my first observation was that, oh my god, I hope that Doggin Hood is not going to do the same for GameSwift, because the story of Borpa is it was like the official meme coin incubated by Entangle ecosystem, right? Entangle, which is like a very big ecosystem, having their listing this year, and they provided a lot of support for the Borpa. However, Borpa decided to part their ways with Entangle, mostly due to the fact that their technology was not efficient enough. And this especially why it's very important, guys, for you to battle test our chain right now in the testnet, because although we feel ready, we feel that we are going to provide you a very amazing piece of infrastructure, it still needs to be validated by you. So that's a long story. However, how Doginhood is different to Borpa, it's obviously having their Telegram game, and the game with a very active user base. So let's keep our fingers crossed for Dogin, because that might be one of the very decent airdrops.
True that. And you said we survived so much, Pan. The Terra crash, then we survived the FTX. Will we survive the unlock of $9 billion worth of $9 billion worth of bitcoins from the empty gox? It's been a decade already, man. A decade that $9 billion stocks in Bitcoin were locked, and right now in July, it's all gonna go to markets.
I'm just curious whether it's going to be all or some portion of those tokens. It's really hard to estimate. However, I know at least two people who are let's say victims of Mt. Gox collapse, and they are expecting to receive their bitcoins back in July. And both of them said that they are not going to sell because they are strong believers. They know that it's a bull market ongoing, and they don't plan to cash out right now. So probably this might be a very, very this might turn out to be quite the opposite to the situation that people expect. By the way, like before getting on the stream, I've been watching some live from iShowSpeed, because he visited Poland. And have you seen this live, Jacob, or not?
I don't think so.
Okay,
However,
so
recently,
long story short, to be honest, I didn't know this guy before. I'm probably boomer, since he has 25 million subscribers, probably one of the biggest content creators on YouTube. But still, I haven't known him before. And he visited Poland, and in fact, he visited a lot of different countries. He's been to Slovenia, to Belgium, to Netherlands, Italy, and in every single country, it was pretty normal. But obviously, in Poland, this have to be a little bit different. And take a look.
This. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, no, wait, cool.
And of course, this iShowSpeed, he came with his bodyguard, right? They were supposed to protect him, but this Polish guy approached him and said to him that he wants to perform a trick, and unfortunately, iShowSpeed accepted the challenge.
Yeah, give me your hand like that.
What the fuck?
What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
What did he do?
Where did he go?
What did he do?
Oh! What the hell was that? Where did he go?
And by the way, he chased him all over the Warsaw. His bodyguards finally caught him. It's actually crazy when you think about it. But I wanted to change the topic from the Mt. Gox unlock for something more funny. But I don't know whether it's funny, because when people see that this is what you can encounter in Poland, some people might be feeling to be afraid, that's a short let's say funny moment. But speaking of the other news, I think this one is worth highlighting. BitGet is preparing to obtain the license in India, and actually BitGet is one of the exchanges where GameSwift token is listed. So obviously we hope that they will get the license, because that would bring the exposure for one of the biggest market in the world, definitely the most populated country in the world, for GSWIFT token. So let's keep our fingers crossed for the BitGet and their listing process.
Exactly. As for the insane, guys, this is not the typical way in which we treat and welcome foreigners in Poland. No worries, we don't lick people.
And by the way, there was another inside joke. So they brought the spring water, sparkling water to this guy, to this influencer, and it was żywiec mocny gaz, which means that it's a strong sparkling water, right? But mocny gaz seems like niggas, right? and he felt offended, and the whole crowd started to shout, "Mocny gaz, mocny gaz." And
It's a Slavic sense of humor, I'd say, guys. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Slavic countries. Okay, we got a question for you, maybe, Pan, regarding Entangle. You think Entangle was at fault, bro? Just curious to know what's going on with. And
I don't want to put the blame on anyone. So obviously, like some narrative which is written by the because there are like two sides of the story, right? So obviously, some people feel that Borpa has not appreciated the support from Entangle, because frankly saying, Entangle made a very huge impact back in March, April this year. They've been highlighted by and Borpa was highlighted by Entangles. They received a lot of support, right? So a lot of people are angry actually on Borpa that they left Entangle, because they feel sympathy for both of the projects, right? Yeah, there's a special code, guys. And I need to agree. Like, for example, if Dogin Hood one day decided to say that, yeah, we fuck GameSwift from now, I would feel like offended, right? So obviously I feel the pain from Entangle. However, the thing is that not everything works smoothly. According to what Borpa said, they didn't feel support from Entangle, even though that the whole gamification in the liquidity was based on the possibility of bridging Borpa token across different chains, because they've been listed at least 4 chains at the same time, and the whole game was based on the arbitrage between those chains, because they had some tax introduced into the token smart contract. So once bridging Borpa token across those different chains to make arbitrage, you've been actually burying some portion of this token. So since the bridge was not working smoothly, people were not able to arbitrage Borpa token from Entangle chain, right? So obviously, Entangle also made a mistake, and some people speculate, that's a pure speculation, that one of the reasons why Borpa decided to make this statement so quickly is due to the fact that Entangle has been dumping the Borpa. dumping the Borpa token. Obviously, they received quite a lot of Borpa tokens in exchange for the cooperation, and they've been dumping them. That's the speculation from the insiders that I heard. So I feel like I'm kind of in the middle, right? I'm kind of in the middle. I feel sympathy. I feel sorry for both sides. I think both of them made a very severe mistake, and I don't know what's gonna happen later. That's all about the crypto world, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know one thing that what we're doing at GameSwift is actually building. Maybe some of you will say that it's too slow, but we're building well, delivering, and not banging or dumping our business partners.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Actually, like when I think about Star Heroes, it was the community to receive the first distribution of the tokens, right? So once Star Heroes token have been distributed, the first smart contract, the first wallet address was for community. Was not for actually. GameSwift received 10% of Star Heroes total supply. GameSwift fully redistributed this back, not to the team, not to my wallet, but to GSWIFT stakers. Obviously, since I was staking GSWIFT like any other, I also received the airdrop for Star Heroes. I was eligible for this, but GameSwift, receiving all the Star Heroes token, it kept it in the treasury while not dumping them. So obviously we are different, and I also feel sympathy for the Borpa, because if it was the case that their business partner had been dumping, that's really bad. I have a serious question for Pan Paragraf. How would you explain GameSwift to your grandpa? To your grandma. And that's a very difficult thing, man. Like, obviously I have these conversations, right? My grandma is unfortunately on the other side of this world. However, the grandma of my beautiful wife is still alive, and I treat her like my grandma. And once being asked for GameSwift, I also struggled to explain. Once I've been asked for anything considering crypto, I always find it really difficult. So usually I try to explain that this is like a gaming ecosystem. So Granmy, please imagine that this is like the gaming platform, the gaming environment for the games, but the difference is that they are built on blockchain, which is making them transparent and accessible for everyone.
But
right?
you have to start differently, man. It's like your garden, you know. Imagine that you're growing your vegetables, your potatoes, but instead of potatoes and tomatoes, you have games. And it doesn't exist in your backyard. It exists in the cloud. I would start with the gardening stuff, you know. And you have potatoes, you have carrots, for example, and each of them have their own special ingredients. These ingredients are the tokens, and then grandma does this.
Okay. This could make grandma bullish on GameSwift. Actually, Greg is asking what is the current market cap of GameSwift. So guys, like, you need to when you go into the CoinGecko, you can see that there is the APY here for GSWIFT supply. And actually, that's the mistake from CoinGecko, that it's not showing the correct circulating supply. As you can see, it's different. It's 1.2 billion tokens, while 120 million tokens, while it's showing at least twice less. So the real market cap of GameSwift is somewhere around 12 to $30 million market cap right now. Another source where you can track those metrics is obviously the Dune analytics from Pan Pilot. He's keeping the track of our circulating supply. As you can see, it's similar to this one showed. Like, it's actually the same. Like it is presented on this CoinGecko APY, but from the reason that we don't know, CoinGecko doesn't read it. By the way, I also see the increase of the token holders. That's a good thing. So we are decentralizing the community, and more token holders are coming to the protocol. So I think we are coming to the end. So we obviously have two major things to announce. The first thing is the Darkverse. So on the previous episode, you've been able to visit Darkverse. This is the game that I am really bullish on, because the best graphic designers from our region are working on this for years. And they are joining our Modular Saga. So stay tuned for the future announcements in terms of the Darkverse. And now the time for top 5 ambassadors of the week. And the first one is the Kazakh. Kazakh presented the tweet about GameSwift chain Testnet. It is really informative. It consists of almost everything. So definitely this is something you want to read. And since I think that I've seen one of the comments from Kazakh on our today Townhall. So man, happy to see you. The top 4 goes to DeFi Muslim, and actually his article made it to Binance Square. So DeFi Muslim published this on Binance Square. It received the approval to be listed there. So although it's not listing on Binance, it's still making visibility for the Binance ecosystem, which is good, because the more articles like this, it makes us closer for the cooperation with them. Top 3 is obviously Monica FM. It's not about, guys, the concrete tweet, because it's about the whole activity. For example, Monica made a very informative tweet about Abis protocol and the airdrop for GSWIFT stakers, but all of the other, she's one of our core committee member, always active, always in the top 5. So shout out to you. But obviously there are also the other hardcore contributors, and the second place goes to Pavelverse. Man, you did a really excellent job explaining how to create a collection on our GSWIFT testnet, because everyone is able to make his own NFT collection. Here is the whole guide of how to do it. So please don't forget to follow Pawnee, because he is tweeting a very informative content. And the number 1 this week goes to the BlockX. BlockX is I think it is the first time when he reached the top 5, and definitely the first time he reached the top 1. But this is mostly thanks to the really astounding number of tweets this week, which in total received 43,000 views. What's more, those tweets are really enjoyable to read and add a lot of value to our community. So if you are not following BlockX, it's a high time to do it. And Jacob, I think we are slowly but steadily coming to the end. Maybe last final question. Do you feel sorry for Vito and Nino, our Austrian friends from Star Heroes, because Austria has lost yesterday to Turkey, and do you feel sorry for them?
Actually, after seeing the last play of the game, this header that was stopped by the Turkish goalkeeper, I felt a little bit sorry. It was so close. It was such a good save. But in the end, yeah, they have a strong team. They've been investing a lot in training facilities, making new generations of players in Austria. So I think they have a bright future ahead. So not today, then tomorrow, I would say.
And I see in the question from Artur Józwek, it's coming back about those 888 hero sale leaderboard. Decision is made, it's inevitable. I'm not going to change it. I'm kindly reminding you that the promise was made by the previous, let's say, board. In my opinion, it was stupid promise, not sustainable. It's not able to sustain the token health. So my recommendation is to support the token, and that's why we did $200,000 buyback, which is still ongoing. And that's my official comment on this. However, if you feel that you are still upset, Arthur, please remember that I can keep the promise by distributing you $1 for every season, because the promise was made that the portion of the revenue will be redistributed, but nobody said what is this portion. So obviously, if I would be, let's say, dickhead. I could deliver this promise, but I'm not the dickhead. I prefer to transparently say that it was a stupid promise. Although it was made by the previous board, I still feel that I need to comment on this, and I not keeping this for myself. I'm redistributing this back to our token holders in the form of the buyback.
And that'll be it for the well-being of the token and all of its holders, guys, especially in hard times like these. But we're already working on season 2. Super excited to see these things coming. Guys, we're cooking all the time.
The first season is also it's a second season actually, because we are not counting this pre-season, right? So the second season is coming after, but it's still like 1 week to go or 2 weeks to go in a Star Heroes leaderboard. So stay tuned, we are slowly but steadily preparing for the next season. There will be a break between the first season and the second season. There is like a lot of feedback to aggregate. There were a lot of things that we need to analyze. That was like the first season. So the Star Heroes team probably will be sitting, analyzing, and preparing for the second season after this.
That's it. So I think we've just wrapped it up. Thanks a lot to everyone for being here with us. That was a pretty interesting one, in my opinion, at least, and fun.
Yeah, obviously.
Let's compliment each other a little bit.
By the way, is there a new picture behind you? What is this? It looks like some Doggin Hood branding.
Yeah, I changed the last one because it was reflecting the light from the outside. So I decided to keep it a little bit more down. So there was no reflection. But what this is, yeah, let us know in the comments. But I just see a nice couple, half-naked couple.
Isn't this sexual sensitive content? I don't know whether maybe we are going to be demonetized. But frankly saying, we are not earning anything from those YouTube episodes, so they can demonetize us, and I wouldn't be, like, let's say, upset for that.
Yeah, and Pawn is asking whether it will be possible to play in between the seasons.
I think that we might make some gaming hours, especially that between the seasons will be working on the tournament. So yeah, this is something that we are going to consider. Don't treat anything that I'm saying right now as the final word. We need to contact with the team on this.
We got some ideas, guys.
Let us know whether you think that this is a good idea to make it available, because like the overall feedback that I received is that since this season was so intensive, a lot of people want to have a rest. So some people might want to practice, but some people prefer to have a rest. And maybe by having a break when the game is close between the first and the second season, will create the hunger for the next one, right? And that's what a lot of Web3 games are doing. Between the seasons, they are closing the game, preparing for the next one, and people are hungry and let's say curious to find out what's new in the game, right?
Exactly. So let's get it rolling, guys. Thanks a lot again. This time it's for real over, and see you next week.
See you next week, guys.